Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Wealth Wednesday. I'm excited to be here with you today. Let's go through some quick announcements. Our quote of the day today is, I accumulated small but consistent habits that ultimately led to results that were unimaginable when I started. And we have a few dates to take note of. Our 2021 National Conference is happening March 18th through the 20th. And we are going to be meeting online for our conference next year. Looking forward to 3 days of awesome training from national leadership and people who are really killing it in this business. So make sure that you're there. Plus, there's always a lot of really exciting new announcements, updates, and you don't want to miss our national conference. You know, if you're taking your business seriously, that's not something that you miss. So I'm excited to see you all there for our online Renatus National Conference. So get those 3 dates marked off if you haven't already. And we have our dates for Leaders Retreat. We're going to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, August 13th through the 17th of 2021. If you haven't been to Leaders Retreat, you've got to go. It's so much fun. I've been to Cancun with the group and Panama with the group, and both of those were unforgettable, just really, really fun. So make sure that you do whatever you need to do to be in Mexico next year with us. We have added some daily and weekly support to our systems. We've got a weekly private capital masterclass happening every Thursday. That's at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. It's for AIT students only. Make sure, of course, you're watching your private capital classes, and Daine is actually Daine Clark is the one who is facilitating that. Daine's got a lot of success, and everything he has learned is from our education as far as building capital. So make sure that you're not missing out on this private capital masterclass. Bring questions, bring conversations that you've been having, and work through those with Daine. Also, every day after our morning call here that we're on right now, we've got a daily dream call, a daily real estate action mastermind. That is all based all around real estate investing. So it's motivated me to continue to watch my classes and to start taking action on more real estate things on that side of my business. And the support is incredible. So I'm really grateful for that dream call. If you're missing it, make sure you are on that going forward. And then we also have our fabulous Friday mornings with Lily Portas. If you've been with us for a while, you know that our morning calls for the longest time, for probably about 6 years now, have been Monday through Thursday. And so just as of maybe about a month ago, we added on our Friday mornings. So we've got Fabulous Friday with Lily Portas, and of course, the dream call afterwards. Also, last but not least, we've got the Get to Know You call. That's happening Monday through Friday at noon for just a quick 15 to 20 minutes. We've got someone on there sharing their story. So it's a different story every day of the week. And all of those are being recorded and put on our YouTube channel. Definitely not something you want to miss. Those are built specifically for your guests so that your guests can see what people are doing with this education. So that's been really, really fun. Make sure that you're tuning into those Get to Know You calls. To do so, just type into your web browser bit.ly/zoomup with a capital Z. And we'll see you there at noon. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out oes.com. That's a little website that Michael and his team put together. There's a short 6-minute video that talks about the optional event subscription and why you want to be a part of that. We also have our weekly house tour. Last week, we toured Tyson's Jungle House. Congratulations, Tyson. This was a really cool tour. The purchase price on the property was around $190,000. He's putting in $160,000 to fix it up, and the ARV should be right around $475,000, which is going to mean a potential net profit of $82,000 for Tyson. Congratulations, that's so exciting. And we've got our weekly events right here. These are reoccurring each and every week. Make sure that you are plugging in with our weekly support. We've got so much happening each and every day and every week to help keep us moving along in our businesses. Of course, make sure you always register in Helios before attending the event. You register yourself and your guests. That way the protection is there. And to access these events, everyone except for Tuesday, you'll go to teamelevateusa.com. I keep looking over here because there's a big street sweeper and it's distracting, so I apologize. So every Tuesday we have our profits intro, Tuesday at 12:30 Mountain Time. We've got people joining this webinar from all around the world. It's been a lot of fun. Michael Huggins is doing a great job at presenting that. We've got our, as I mentioned just with a moment ago with Tyson's house tour, we've got a house tour every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And these are really, really powerful to get your guests in front of what our students are doing with this education. Some really cool deals we're seeing each and every week. And we have our Thursday night of events. We've got a Super Bowl of events. We've got our Spanish house tour. We've got a Pillars of Wealth workshop where we talk all about our Renatus education. We've got the follow-up and funding webinar. We have an onboarding session. We've got the essential study group offered in both English and Spanish. We've got our business development study group and fix and flip, wholesaling, multifamily, and short-term rental to help support you with your education that you're watching and any questions that you may be coming across as you are taking action on your real estate business. So just very grateful for all of the support that our team offers. We do record our trainings. We've got this morning call being recorded. We're also on Facebook Live. If you're not a part of our private Facebook page, you definitely want to join. Just request to get added to Renatus Team Elevate on Facebook. We'll get you added. There's a lot of important announcements there, as well as you can catch these recordings. Our YouTube channel, I mentioned before, we've got the Zoom up calls, those 15-minute stories. Those are on YouTube. Just search Elevate Renatus Zoom up, and you'll find all of those there, as well as these morning calls. Just search for Elevate Renatus, and you'll see Wealth Wednesday, Takeoff Tuesday, and can watch these recordings there. So make sure you're taking advantage of everything that this that our system is offering to help you move along in your business. All right, we are learning today from an amazing individual. I mentioned earlier that we have Daine Clark facilitating our private capital masterclass every Thursday, and he spends each and every Wednesday with us for an hour to share what's working in his marketing business. So I'm very, very grateful that Daine is here with us to share what's working. He has reached a lot of success within Renatus, and so make sure you do take notes. Some of Daine's background: before Renatus, he was working 2 jobs. He was working for Apple, and at the time he was pretty shy, so he wasn't out on the floor selling cell phones. He was in the back counting them. And also, he was also working as a roofer on the weekends. His dad was a roofer, and that is how he kind of fell into that, just to make some extra money. At the time, he was barely making ends meet. He knew he needed to make a change, so he started to look into other income opportunities. Daine found Renatus, started to watch his education. He listened to his mentors and started to apply what he was learning. He applied Velocity Banking and used that as leverage as a down payment for a duplex, where the duplex, he lived in one side, rented out the other side. And we fast forward to today, Daine has now raised $16 million from private investors for various transactions. And he also has completed over 100 deals now, or maybe just his 100th deal. And that's incredible. So congratulations, Daine. He's been with Renatus about 5 years and just completed his 100th deal. And so this education works. His secret to the 16 million is consistency and frequency. And that definitely shows in his success that he has reached. Daine has grown his team. He's recognized by our CEO as a leader, key leader. He's on the PIT as the in training to be on the PAC, the President's Advisory Council. And again, we're very, very fortunate to get to hear from Daine this morning. Good morning, Daine. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for that intro, Keely. And good morning, Renatus Nation. Another Wealth Wednesday. And I know we got cut off like right at the end of our last discussion, because we got so much going on these days. But no worries. If I remember, some people had some questions right at the end. You may have to remind me if you remember who you are and what that question was. I forgot to take a screenshot. So yeah, let me know as we get started here. But if not, no worries. Hopefully you figured it out. But yeah, in fact, Keely was talking about some of the success, if you will. Picked up a property yesterday and just broke $17 million of private capital put to work in real estate. 2 more on Friday. It's a busy week this week. And this one on Friday, if you guys are a part of the private capital mastermind that we put on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, I will probably be bringing up this deal on Thursday that we're picking up on Friday, because this one's pretty cool. This one's pretty darn cool with what we're doing. But and very unique. I've never done one quite like this. And so this one's kind of new to me. But yeah, love to see you guys there. And thank you, Keely, for that intro. But yeah, let's get this thing going, guys. I want to hear from you. I want to hear, how many people did you talk to in the last 7 days? I know for me, it was, oh my gosh, it's been crazy. I'm not sure how many conversations I had. I would guess over a dozen, but one-on-ones, I think, let's see, I did 1, 2, 3. I was able to complete 4 one-on-ones in the last 7 days, just around the Renatus business, around the Renatus marketing. And we'll talk about that in a minute, because some people want to know, well, Daine, how in the heck do you balance doing all this real estate and close all these combos and do all these one-on-ones? And so I'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to hear from you guys. How many conversations did you have? How many people did you bring to an intro? How many people did you get in front of the house tour, or make it to the house tour? Live, Zoom, it's up to you. Or I guess it depends on where they are. How many people did you bring to an intro? How many people did you get into the Facebook group, our big Real Estate Investors United Facebook group? In fact, Keely, I just had an idea. All these Zoom up stories that we're doing on, we should get those into that Real Estate Investors United Facebook group somehow. Let's think on that and figure out how we could make a very easy process to just get those in there, because that would be awesome for anybody inside of that group to see, especially that we like regularly post these. I think it was yesterday, the one where somebody's in the midst of having a $400,000 net profit month in their real estate business. Like, yeah, people need to see that kind of stuff. That's awesome. And anyway, so how many people? Tell me. It looks like we got a bunch of comments here. Let me go to the comments, give you guys some love. Now, and the reason I ask this every single week is to give people an opportunity to be honest with themselves, but also be honest with multiple people. This is why I like to report and say, like, I put $17 million to work. I think it's actually like 17.6. So, I mean, by next week, I could very well be into the 18. I love to be accountable to you guys. I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but you guys, when I tell everybody on this call what I am doing and what I've done, it's because it motivates me. Because did you guys know, and I know I've said this multiple times, but somebody needs to hear this today. But did you know that if you measure your performance, if you measure what you do in every given week, then you are going to get better every single week if you measure it. But if you measure it and you tell somebody, or a lot of somebodies in this case, then that rate of improvement will increase. You'll have that, wow, I always forget what the math term is. It's funny. I got like straight A's in math as a kid, but I can't remember any of it. But that thing that goes like this, right? And it spikes up and goes really steep. Not a parabola, basically exponential growth, I think, is what I'm searching for here. When you report to people, you start gaining this exponential growth. And yeah, it still has to start like this. And you start reporting, you start telling everybody, and then as you have more success, and you keep on reporting. That's how it works. And the moment I learned that, it was actually from Michael Huggins, and I was pissed. I was not very happy that he's like, hey, Daine, I want you to tell people, what you did in the last 7 days. And it originally came in the form of a, they called it oh my gosh, somebody help me with that like 6-week training that Michael would do. Why am I not remembering this?
The EMT.
But it was Elevate Warriors. EMT. Yes, thank you. Thank you, whoever helped me with that. EMT. It started with that EMT where we had to like report and we had to tell people on it. But after that, for like a few months of reporting, I was like, oh my gosh, I know exactly why I was successful this week or not successful this week. And so this is why I invite everybody to say, hey, tell everybody, because if you want success faster, I want to give you that opportunity to be honest with yourself and a bunch of other people. So anywho, that's why I do that. But let's give some love here. Thank you, LaShawn. Let's see. Good morning, Sonia. Isaac did one-on-one. Congratulations, brother. Gilda had 8 in the intro. Sherry had 3 to the intro. Esterine had 6 people talked one-on-one. 1 person real estate, 1 potential deal. Congratulations. Jenna, 3 one-on-ones and 3 to the intro. Bertha had 1. David McIntyre, 2 one-on-ones and 1 real estate conversation. Awesome. And the reason he's sharing that, if many of you don't know, I talk about the 4 boxes and how every person you talk to is going to go down one of these avenues, and you just help them with that avenue. Some people you know right away. I can help you this way. Some people you got to do a little bit of digging, a little bit of detective work, and figure out where they are. But yeah, thank you, David. 2 one-on-ones, 1 real estate conversation around investing. Tyson Clay, 7 to the house tour, 1 private capital conversation, and 1 one-on-one. Congrats, brother. Brian, 3 attended intros, 2 to the Facebook group, 2 so far to the intensive. Oh yes, Tony Scotty. Oh, I just finished his class a few months ago. Just finished Tony's class, and it like ruined it for everything else for me. Like all the flips I thought I wanted to do, all the rentals I thought I wanted to own. After I watched Tony Scotty's class, it's in your bonus track in AIT. I was just like, dang it, everything else sucks. And that's like all I wanted to do. And so I've actually been getting super excited about it. And I've done, let's see, after this Friday, I'll have done 4 contracts for deeds in the last month. And it's so crazy because I'm not a landlord. I just collect payments as the bank basically. And it's like the coolest thing ever. And anyway, watch Tony Scotty's class. It is awesome.
You're referring to the land contract, right?
Yes, that land. Yeah, and every state is different. I've done a bunch of research across states, and so in Utah they call it the uniform real estate contract, and it's actually a state-approved form that you can download off of their website. In like Wisconsin, it's called a land contract. In I believe it's Idaho, it's called a contract for deed, or Ohio or something like that, contract for deed. So all of them mean the same thing, but there's those. So far, I've heard those 3 different terms. But yeah, check that class out. Because if you don't want to be a landlord, but you still like cash flow, this is for you. And this is why I fell in love with this. So anyway, let's see. Doug says 1, but I feel it swelling. Yeah, coming inside, right? Exactly. When you become bigger inside than the obstacle on the outside, that's when you move forward, man. So I love to hear that. Ann said 2. I'm glad you have the fire going. You look cold. Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, I sit out in the toy hauler because I got 3 sleeping babies inside and a sleeping wife. And if I wake any one of those up, off with my head. And so I come out here and yell and be eccentric and whatever. So yeah, we're warming up here. But let's see. 2 people, Bobby says 2 people, 1 intro, or sorry, 1 person on velocity banking, 1 person in on the iOS overview, and talk to 2 people tonight, or talking to 2 people tonight. Congrats. Keely says, Daine, it seems like your lending accumulation rates $1 million a week. Almost. In the last couple of months, it's been about $1.7 million per month. I mean, it's just been crazy, absolutely crazy. Especially now that I'm lending on flips and buying as many contract for deed properties as I possibly can. Let's see. Tamara asked, can I talk a little bit about how I qualify people for one-on-ones? Yes, absolutely. Paul, let's see, talk to 2, 0 to intro, 0 one-on-ones. Okay, cool. I see what you're saying there. Had 2 conversations, but it didn't lead to anything yet. Every time you have a conversation, you get a little bit better. And Paul, maybe I'll even have you chat with us today. Talk to 10, 2 online, sold essentials. Sandra, great job. Keely, have 3 new people. Man, look at all these messages. Good job. All right, I got to get through those. 3 new people, Facebook, tagged people in videos, lots of conversations, around 10. Congrats. Deborah had 2 conversations. Ruthie talked to 2, 1 in intro, and Anna had 2 one-on-ones. And then let's see. Nina says, not enough. 2 one-on-one conversations, 1 sign up for essentials, billing next Friday and on his payday. Talking about a real estate investor more often. Don't have numbers, but I use the term in regards. Love it. Great job, Nina. And for the growth of possession on the bottom of the curve. So yeah, no worries about it. You got to start somewhere. Everybody got to start somewhere. Bottom of the curve. So you made the point. And I'll get the mindset. Yes, love it, Nina. Thank you. LaShawn, 1 essentials, 1 one-on-one. All right, let's do this. Who? I think I already know who it's going to be, but let's see who comes off of mute first. Who can I help today? Who can I answer a question? Who can I fill a gap for in your marketing business? Who can I have that conversation with here? Let me. Who do I have? Esterine, hello.
I don't want to talk about marketing. I want to talk about this deal that I'm scared to death to do.
The contract for deed?
No. I'm a real estate agent. I have a license. I had a client.
Oh.
I sold her house. She's in her mom's house. They're getting ready to sell it and move to Arizona. And when I first talked to her about a month ago, she's open to doing the deal with an investor so she can get the money and just go. And I don't want to just be the wholesaler. I want to be the investor.
Yeah.
They owe 80 on it.
Well,
I think I can get it for 220 and I can sell it for 315.
Whew.
So I'm just like electrified right now.
Yeah, do it. Absolutely do it. If you're okay for this call, I want to make sure that we're helping people in their Renatus business. But if you want to stick around at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock, we cool. And I think I can stick around. I got to check on my calendar if I can stick around this time. But
I
yeah.
can send you something in Facebook Messenger.
Cool. Yeah, who can I help? Tamara,
I've got a good one,
you had,
but if anybody else has a burning question, go ahead.
Yeah, Tamara asked about one-on-ones, but yeah, how long will yours take, Tyson?
That depends on you, I think, because it can be simple or it can be all out.
Yeah, you're right.
It just depends on you.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go ahead and hit me, and then Tamara, if you're still with us, I'd love to have you ask your question too, because I know the comment she made around one-on-ones or qualifying is important to me before I sit down with people. But yeah, go ahead and hit me, Tyson.
And this might even be related to qualifying as well. So one of my prospects last week watched the intro, price was dropped, and she's really excited, kind of like you did in regionals. I told her, if you're a 1 or a 2 or a 3, let me know. If you're ready to go and want me to shut up and sign you up, let me know. So she was like, well, I'm probably that one. I just want to go. So we got to the end and we're like, here's the prices, here's the packages, and blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, that's a lot of money. I'm not going to pay that.
Oh, I hate that one because they didn't really watch the video.
And not. realize how much money this cost. She's like, I knew it was going to cost money, but not that much.
Yeah. So you were like, so
Has that ever happened
did you
to
watch
you?
the video? Yeah, that one has
Yeah.
happened to me probably 2 or 3 times, where they're like, yeah, we watched the video. Yeah, we watched the video. And then we show up and we start talking about it. And then we start talking about Renatus, and they're like, what's Renatus? And I'm like, wait a second. You told me you watched the video, right? Like, yeah. I see what's going on here. Right. Yeah, that one's not fun. But yeah, tell me how it ended up.
Okay, so we talked about the School of Hard Knocks. There's different ways to get educated. We reviewed with her how motivated she is and asked her some questions to get her to say it instead of us just telling her. And she said, okay, well, now I need to talk to my husband because I didn't know it was going to be this much. And she has $40,000. So I'm like, okay, what's the problem here? You know? And she ended up coming back and said, okay, here's my plan. I'm going to pay off some debt, and then I'm going to buy it later. I'm really excited. And that's where we're at right now. She said, when my $40,000 is in a CD, certificate of deposit. So whenever that becomes available, I'll use that. Or if something else comes up sooner, I'll use that. That's
Did
where
you
we're
guys
sitting
talk
now.
velocity banking? Did you talk velocity banking with her?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
Her objection to that was, well, we just don't want to get into more debt. We don't want to get into any debt. So she's not willing to use debt as a tool to get what she wants.
I see. So the issue with and you correct me if I'm wrong, but the issue that might have happened, like if I just think back to the times that this happened to me, it was because when I scheduled my one-on-one and said, hey, let's meet about real estate, let's talk. And they're like, yeah. And I say, oh, will you watch the video first, right? I assume that's what happened here. And they said, yeah, watch the video.
That's exactly what happened.
When I don't qualify or not, when I don't do it in a way like for example, like this, and in fact, Tyson, let's role play. So Tyson, can you meet with me, talk real estate on Wednesday at 5 p.m.? You say yes. I say,
hold
cool.
on, let me check my schedule. Yes.
Cool. And I say, awesome. Oh, before we meet, are you okay if I have you watch a little training video that actually talks about how I got my start? It's actually going to break down a real deal, and it's actually going to share with you some really awesome banking strategies that people have used to pay off their houses in like a third of the time, less than 10 years, without just by not having a mortgage on their property. So if I send you that training, would you by chance be able to finish it?
How long is it?
Before we meet. It is about an hour and 30 minutes. So you're going to have to get some popcorn.
Popcorn. Okay. Yes, I can do that.
Yeah, hour and 30 minutes. Okay. Now it's important to me that you're able to go through this and actually take a few notes. And because you're going to have some questions, right? Because like I said, the guy that does this training is going to drop a bomb on you on how to get into properties at $100,000 discounts, learning how to structure deals, and like this banking strategy. And so I really want to make sure that you take some notes. So are you for sure able to finish that about an hour and 30 minutes? Now you can put it on like 1.5 times speed and probably finish it in just barely over an hour. But can you finish that so that we can pick up right where that left off when we meet one-on-one? Is that okay, Tyson? If I ask you that, or if I ask you to do that?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Cool. I'll see you at 5 o'clock, whatever. Okay. So that's typically what I'll do that gets them to really watch that video. If you were to tell us the story of how you committed her, was it similar, or was the commitment for her to watch the video a little bit more lackadaisical? I don't even know what that really means, but it sounded good.
Lackadaisical. Yeah. So last time I came off mute was I think just 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah, we talked
identified
about
a
this later. I remember.
problem in my inviting process. And so I
Yeah.
applied what you taught me and everybody else and asked some finding questions like, okay, great. What got you interested in real estate investing? How long have you been interested? What have you tried? What have you learned? And
Yeah.
so I asked those, and she told me, and I said, okay, let's
And she
set
told
up
you how much money she has.
How much money do you have?
Yeah.
Let's set up a time so we can go over a roadmap to help you get into your first deal. Okay, that sounds great. I set up an appointment, and then I said, but first, I would like you to watch this video. And in this video, it goes over some cool strategies. Would you be willing to do that before we meet? And she said, yes. It's an hour and a half long and about 30 minutes of question and answer afterwards. Is that okay with you? And she said, yes. It's really snowy outside, by the way, so I'm staring at the road, not you.
Yeah. Is it snowing outside?
I mean, yeah, I'm in West Jordan right now. West Jordan, Utah,
Yeah,
for everybody who does not
outside.
live in Utah. It's snowing bad, but I love snow. Anyways, she said yes. She watched the video. We had the one-on-one. She was so super excited the entire time.
Did she remember anything from the video?
Yes. She's an intelligent person, and she was like, that was cool about like, I like how he showed the house and the strategy. What else did she say? Yeah, she
legit skipped over it. So she probably just like listened to it. She's probably doing something, right? And so
kids.
That's why lately I've been That's why lately I've been telling people because I mean we're in the middle of this quarantine. Kids are not in school; they're homeschooling. I mean, I guess some kids are in school, but and that's why I say like you're gonna have to get some popcorn. I've started saying that phrase because the exact thing happened to me recently where they showed up and they're just like, wait, what's Renatus? I was like, you watched the video, right? But here's how I recovered. When they told me that they didn't know that it was $20,000. Well, actually, nowadays I kind of tread a little bit lightly when I start talking about Renatus, and I don't drop price on Renatus during that one-on-one. And so lately I've just been talking about taking classes. Like, are you okay taking the classes? In fact, if you guys watch my regional training, it is inside Helios now. Everybody can review what I did at the regional, where I actually did a mock one-on-one that live with that couple. And I talk about taking classes and talking about Renatus, but I don't drop price. And then I get them to be so excited that I basically ask them that question at the end of like, cool. So let me ask you this: do you like the idea? Does it make sense to you? Yes, I like this. I want to do this. I say, cool. The next step is for us to get you access to Renatus. Let's talk about that. You ready? And then I'll draw the number and then I'll like, because again, I kind of wait to watch them, and I sit there and I say, now, most people, when they learned this, because I want to assume that they saw it in the video, but some, just because that's happened to me, maybe 2 or 3 times where they didn't lately. It is so weird. Pre-coronavirus, I never had that happen, and now all of a sudden it happens all the time. I shouldn't say all the time, maybe once a week. And so because of this, I'm actually thinking about switching up the video I'm sending them. I'll make sure everybody knows about that, all that stuff. But in the meantime, this is how I'm combating that. Just that it seems like the population is less engaged in watching media. But yeah, I use the popcorn phrase. And then when I drop the line, I draw the number. I don't put a dollar sign in front of it. I just say $23,000. And then I say most people, when they saw that number, myself included, gasped, because that's a lot of money. In order to invest, in order to invest that kind of money, you have to make this work in order to pay for itself, right? And so I just start talking about all the things that people want to be talked about. If I'm going to invest $23,000, well, that darn well better pay for itself, right? And so I bring that out into the open during that one-on-one. And yeah, it's a tougher conversation, but people appreciate the honesty. People appreciate your bluntness in most cases, right? So now, how to recover? I would just influx her with stories. In fact, what Keely mentioned this morning, where every single day at noon, there is somebody telling stories about deals, about their experience, about themselves. Either get her on that call or get her the recordings of those stories. And they're designed to be only 15 minutes, little blips. And where she's got kids, that's going to be a little more manageable for her. And so either just send her one or be like, hey, can you jump on the Zoom at noon and just get her these stories, overwhelm her with people having success. So yes. All right. Tamara, I know you had a question. I want to make sure I give time to that. Are you still with us? Let's see. Did I miss something
Yes,
in the?
I'm here.
In the chat here?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead, Tamara.
Okay. So here's been my experience with my one-on-one. So I've had both ends. I've had one person at the end tell me, and everything in between. He was like, all right, this is awesome. It's going to take me like 2 months to get $400 down, which obviously that was not the best use of my time. I would have just stuck in the group one-on-one. And then on the opposite end of that, I had like someone very well off, like a doctor. By the end of it, she's like, I'm in, I'm committed. I have a grant that I have to write for the next 3 months, then I'm in. So like, so she was more, qualified for my time, but it wasn't the right time for her. And I guess I missed that in the beginning.
Yeah. Here, let me, Keely, can you let me share my screen? I want to talk about this, and this is so perfect because, I mean, most people in the regional, I think it was Jay Stark, where he talked about how I pretty much say the same dang thing in every single one-on-one, and that's true, but I'm always learning. And so I'm always trying to combat little things and make really minor tweaks. And so I want to share one thing that I said yesterday just last night in a one-on-one that ended up in the person literally being like, cool, I'm going to get money as fast as possible because I want to start. Right. And here's what I said. Let me share my screen. In fact, you know what? Let me just go to that one-on-one and I will show you guys. Let's see, share screen, bam. Okay, so if you guys can see that, okay, here we are. So again, this just happened late last night. And as you can see, like I shared in the regional training, I sit down and I say, all right, and this is called POD, P-O-D, purpose, outcome, decision. And so I start with that. Purpose, I want to understand your goals. Outcome, like what I really want you guys to get out of this is a roadmap of going from today to reaching your first success in real estate, right? So we're going to develop that roadmap. D, decision, the only decision that we need to make today is if this looks good, if this, if this is getting you excited, right? Because this is really just that original conversation. We're going to be talking a lot. If you like this and it makes sense to you, then we are probably going to be talking a lot over the next several weeks, months, years even, okay? And so I start with POD. Now, here was the new thing that I tried last night, okay? And for those of you who saw this in my regional, in fact, I got a bunch of comments where people are like, oh my gosh, that's from Jay Massey. And it's funny because I use this raising real estate money. I use this selling combos. I use this on my wife. But anyway, so I can't remember what Jay Massey calls it, rules of engagement, right? So this is called the rules of engagement. In fact, you know what? I want to, because I'm going to pull this up for this couple again later, I want to make sure that I erase everything that I draw on this. And so I'm going to use a skiwampus color that's easy to remember. So this section is the rules of engagement, where step one is, what does yes look like? Shut me up and let's get going. What does no look like? You know, like if you and I saw each other at the grocery store and you know, instead of waving, you're like, ah, you know, and you duck behind the aisle of you know, Reese's Pieces or whatever to hide your face because you don't want to, you don't like, and if we get to, anyway. And then 3 is if we're in I don't know land, I'm just gonna take that. So here's the new thing that I said today, or sorry, yesterday, was option 1 is you're just like, dude, this is for me today. And Daine, shut up and tell me what to do because I'm going, right? I'm going full speed ahead and I'm doing this, right? Option 2, you know, where most people end up after this conversation is, you know what? This is not for me today. And I start telling a story of like, you know what? That is it's totally fine. If it's not for you today, that doesn't mean forever. I mean, I start telling stories of like, man, I've talked to people and years later, something happened to them. And I actually tell a couple of stories. Like I had one person that they're just like, oh my gosh, this is not for me today. Like my life, my whatever. But they called me 2 years later and they're like, hey, Daine, my mom just died. And I just got $200,000 in my checking account. I've never had that much in my checking account at one time in my life. And I'm freaking out. What the heck do I do with this? And the only thing I can think is I should do real estate. And so, Daine, are you still doing that real estate? This is 2 years later, right? And so I tell a little story like that. Like, if it's not for you today, are you okay telling me that it's not for you today, right? And I make sure that they say yes. Are you okay telling me that if you're this? Yes. Are you okay telling me if you're this? Yes. And then I say, now, if we land in I don't know land, then I'm going to take that as a 2. So you can see I drew this as we're talking. I'm going to take that as a, this is not for you today. Because if you have to think about it too much, then it probably isn't for you today. You're not ready to travel down that road to success, right? Because it is going to be hard. It is going to be work for you to achieve, like, and then I get into their goals. For you to achieve your goals, you're going to have to sacrifice something that's going on in your life today, right? So this is the little tweak that I did yesterday that I am like 90% sure that as soon as I got done saying this, in their mind, they had already bought. In their mind, like they were sold. They're like, cool, Daine actually cares about me. Because even though, as we get to the bottom here, even though I dropped the $20,000, and I'm pretty sure this was because they told me like, yeah, we watched the video, but we were busy and whatever. And so I was like, did you really watch it? But they've been to house tours. They've, so they knew stuff. I just don't think they knew the price. And so that's why I drew the number and I said most people freak out when they see that the first time, and just help their emotions come through and be okay with those emotions. But I kid you not, even though they're telling me like, Daine, we're listing our house on Wednesday, like we're changing jobs, I'm in the midst of open enrollment because she's in the health insurance. Even though she's in the midst of all this stuff, and this is just my personal belief, because I was able to uncover this for them, these rules of engagement, I kid you not, she goes, in fact, can I just do like the 2,000 today? Even though she's like, we should wait, but I want to start today. This is for me today. Like I want success. I want success, right? And so Tamara, I hope this is helping. This is where my mind went when you asked that question. However, this is when I make it to the one-on-one, right? And so, in fact, I'm just realizing that your question was, how do you make sure that somebody's ready today before you get to the one-on-one, right? Somebody needed to hear this though. All right, you still with me, Tamara?
Yes.
Let me erase this.
Awesome. I'm
Cool.
sure. Yeah, it was helpful too.
So let's talk about that though. What can we say to, and let me just make sure this is back to normal. Okay. So what can we say to qualify somebody before we do the one-on-one? And maybe you can almost allude to this. Maybe you can just come back and say, when you're qualifying, you know, like, what have you tried? Or sorry, how long have you been interested in real estate? Oh, I've been thinking about it for like 10 years. Cool. What have you tried? I haven't tried anything yet. I've just always been too scared. And then you follow it up with like, cool. Like I would actually love to meet with you, but you know, and you have everything in between, and then you schedule the appointment, and then you go back and you say, I would actually love to meet with you, but the only reason I will meet with you, I will meet with you based on your answer to one question, right? And it's crazy. Lately, I have just been so unapologetically a force to be reckoned with like this. And I think people are responding to it, right? So let's pitch it this way. All right, I would love to meet with you, but I want to meet with you based on your answer to one question, right? Are you ready for this? And they say yes. I say, most people, you know, referring back to your comment where you've been interested in it for 15 years, but you haven't tried anything yet. Most people fall in that category when it comes to real estate investing. They want to do it, but they never try anything. And so what I'm about to show you, when we sit down, I'm going to walk you through a path and show you a roadmap where either myself or other people have picked up and started doing real estate deals very quickly in relation to most of other people, right? So my one question that I want to hear hear where you're at. If you can see how you could have success in real estate in the very near future, would you be in a mindset of, you know what, I need to think about stuff, or would you be in more of a mindset of like, holy crap, nothing else matters. I am going to drive to success for myself, right? And I would even come out and say it. Honestly, for most people, that is the missing key, is when you decide, I am going to do real estate. I don't care if Tamara is in my life. I don't care if Keely's in my life or Tyson's in my life or Daine's in my life. When you are come up with the mindset of, I am going to get into real estate no matter what, do whatever it takes, that is when you're going to achieve success. Now, yeah, I can show you the roadmap and all that kind of stuff of what people are doing, but ultimately it has to come to you. So here's my one question. Do you feel like you're ready for that? Do you feel like you're ready to enter into the mindset of, I'm going to do whatever it takes to achieve success, right? So, and I could see myself saying exactly that. In fact, I might actually say that on the very next time I qualify somebody, because in today's world, people are in I don't know land. People are in I got to do these grants over the next month or whatever, right? We want to be meeting with people that are right here, where they're just like, dude, I don't care what it takes. I am going to drive to success, right? In fact, with this couple, it was funny because they said a bunch of things. When I asked them what their vision was, they said some comments. In fact, this is interesting, Tamara, that you're bringing this out in my own experience yesterday with this couple. Because he said to me, I love my job. I do not want to quit my job. And I just kept on hearing comfort. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable, Dan. I'm comfortable. Right? I love my job. I love my job. I don't want to quit my job. And he just kept on saying all these things around comfortable. And I'm just like, all right, dude. And I basically said the same thing. I kind of went back to this, and in a slightly different way, I basically said, dude, the only way that this is going to work for you is if you tell yourself that this is worth it enough to sacrifice. It's going to be difficult. That first deal is always the hardest, right? And so I really got him to just say, I'm committed to achieving these goals, to being able to make $100,000 a year, to be able to take time off and spend time together with my wife, because he works like 16 hours a day right now as a concrete contractor. And I was like, and you like that? I didn't say that to him, but he pours concrete every day for 16 hours. I mean, just that's back-breaking work. But he's comfortable. I think it's because in his mind he makes some good money. But I mean, I had to just hit on that you have to want these goals so bad that you have to decide, I will sacrifice. Because when the going gets hard, if you keep telling yourself, I'm comfortable at my job, then you're just going to be like, never mind. I'll just work my day job. I'm not going to go after goals. I'm not going to go after $100,000 a year or time together or creating an abundance and security mindset or knowing exactly what I'm doing. It's so interesting. When I ask people what their vision is in a year lately, I get answers like this. I just want to know what I'm doing. I want to know what I'm saying in the real estate investing world. Like lately, I'm not getting people saying like, oh, I want a dream car. Oh, I want a dream house. Oh, like this is what I'm hearing these days. They just want to know. They want to have security. It's really interesting, the changes, I should say, right? So Tamara, does that help in your qualifying, right? When you get to the point where you schedule the meeting, you say, or about to schedule the meeting, you tell them, I want to meet with you, but the only reason I'll meet with you is going to be based on your answer to this question. And then you come back and say, most people are in that phase of they want to do it, but they do not take action. If I meet with you, I want to know that you are in the mindset of I will do whatever it takes to be successful in the real estate investing world, to buy houses at six-figure discounts, to generate cash flow passively through real estate. I need to know that. So where do you feel you are? Right. And I actually might work on that phrase, because I mean, at the end of the day, I just have all these like punchlines, all these phrases. And then during my one-on-ones, I say them and I pull them out and it comes up in conversation naturally. Right. And so I'll work on that one because I really like that before I meet with you, I want to know where you're at. Are you in like discovery mode, or are you in like, Daine, I'm ready to have success. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. Right. So anyway, hope that helps. What time is it? 9:01. We got to finish. Let me check comments really fast and then we'll jump over. If we have more questions for next week, then awesome. Cool. People love it. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, guys. I will see you all Saturday. Tony Scotti. He is the man. Cool. Thanks, guys.